I'm on. Welcome back to Don't Tick the Box. Today we have for you August's 2020 Scrawlrbox, and since we've already had to wait extra long for this one, let's get right to it. As always, I'd like you to have the first view, so right. First of all, let's pull out this little book, the Scrawlrbox. It usually gives a hint of what we are getting, so I'm going to put it aside because I don't like to get spoiled. Next, I already see something sticking out, but first I'm going to pull out this, which I think is this month's artwork, with another hint of what we are probably going to get, and it's by Bastien Marienne, aka Bab2. It's looking quite, I was going to say experimental. It's not so much experimental as bold and colorful, which is exactly what I like. So we'll put this aside and see what else we got. Since this is already a little torn, I'm just going to unceremoniously pull it open. Ooh, all right. First of all, a very colorful sticker. Next, a palette card, knife card. Use my edges to mix, scrape and apply thick bold strokes. That's actually quite cool. I'm going to put aside these leaflets because I don't want to get any more spoiled. And what have we here? 3 tubes of Daler-Rowney System 3 heavy body acrylic in the colors Process Blue, Lemon Yellow and Process Magenta. That's pretty cool. Oh, we also get a Faber-Castell Castell 9000 2B pencil, which is, in my book, an excellent sketching pencil, and a Pro Arte Series 60 brush in size 5. A protective cap. And almost lastly, we get a bubbly. This is a bubble gum. I don't have this sweet in my country, so for now I'm going to assume it's a bubble gum, and maybe see what the Scrawlrbox has to say about the sweet. Now I'm going to try to put this aside, and then we are left with, I thought it was going to be paper, but it is one. No, it's not one. A few canvas boards. Oh yeah. I don't know if it shows up on camera, but we get 3 panels, and one of the sides is textured, almost like canvas, and one of the sides is more like cardboard. So this is probably like a cardstock, but with a thin layer of canvas, or extra textured to resemble canvas. I will have to check the description, the items list to see what this is, because this also doesn't mention a brand. But I will link it in the description or have Comment Cat enlighten you. Boop. Well, that was a very quick unboxing, so let's get swatchy. We got our trusty swatching notebook out. First of all, we have a 2B Faber-Castell pencil, which for a 2B feels very hard. But the shading is quite excellent. I should also note, because by now I have read the supplies list, that originally they intended a Staedtler pencil for this box, but they had to swap it out because they didn't get their pencils in time. So this is probably the pencil intended for a future box, which somehow arrived too soon at their facility, and we are expecting the intended pencil, namely a Staedtler, in the next box. I don't know if this information is actually any use to you, but I'm just saying what I read on the supplies list. Anyway, on to the paints. First we have the Process Blue, which is very bright. I'm going to try and thin it out a little to see what shades we can get, and that looks absolutely beautiful. I must say I have some experience with acrylic, but not specifically with the heavy body acrylic that this is, and it does feel a little thicker maybe than what I'm used to. I used to have some acrylics, but they almost felt like gouache to work with, just a little bit more opaque, but this feels even thicker. I do love the colors though, they're really, really, really intense and very, very pretty. One thing that I really like about acrylics as opposed to oil, because I don't like things that dry very fast, which acrylic does, but what I really like about acrylic versus oil is that you can just thin it out with water, so you don't need a whole set of extra special chemicals to get working. And then the last color, which looks very purple on the brush, not so much a magenta as a purple. Especially when I'm using it like raw. Don't mind the cat. When I'm using it unthinned, it does feel very, very thick on the brush, and it's a relatively small brush. But as you can see, it thins out quite easily with not too many streaks, and then you get a lovely, lovely pinkish magenta color. I'm going to try and see if I can get some mixes going on. So this is an even coat of yellow and magenta, which gives a sort of, I should have mixed this better, but I actually quite like the effect. It gives a very nice dark orange with some yellow streaks. I quite like that actually. Oof. That is gorgeous. I should note that I don't take a lot of time mixing, so it is a little streaky, but that's entirely my fault. But I must say I really love the color effect. They blend very, very nicely, I think. And the colors, the mixed colors are not muddy at all, which is a big concern. But this is absolutely beautiful. Thus far, I am actually quite impressed. One more test. It's blue and yellow to mix green. But look at that. Without effort, I get my favorite shade of grass green. And even the mixed colors you can easily thin out with water to get a lighter, more transparent shade. Alright. That's properly swatched out, and I must say so far I'm very impressed and very happy. So I'm going to close this book for now. Think of something to sketch. I assume they want us to draw a portrait, which I will try. See you soon. think it's very safe to say that this is definitely not the best artwork I've already produced, since I struggled a lot with getting an even coat of paint, specifically on her face, because the uneven streaks in the sweater and the hair and the background were sort of intentional, but I would have liked an even coat on her skin, which I did not achieve. But I am very, very happy with all the stuff that I got. Even the palette knife card was a really fun tool to use. The colors that we got work really well together. We already saw when the swatching that they mixed quite well. The brush was really, really, really nice to work with as well. I think I would have liked maybe a thicker or broader brush, because I did struggle in getting an even coat, and I think a thicker brush might have helped, but then it would have been more difficult to get some details in. Also, I think you all saw that I cheated a little and added some white out of my own collection to fix the eyes, because they really looked like nothing. But all in all, I'm really, really, really happy with all the stuff that we got. And I have 2 more boards to play around with. Although I think I might test my skills on paper a little bit first, and then when I feel a little bit more confident, I'm going to use the extra boards that we got. I had no qualms about the pencil. They do mention that it's swap around, so they did intend to send another pencil with this box, maybe one that is more intended for a hard surface, but it worked perfectly for all that I wanted to do with it, and it didn't leave a very thick or dark trace on the paper, which was really nice, so you could easily paint over without having to erase anything. So once again, can't recommend this box enough. And while I play around with these items a little bit more, it's goodbye. Bye.